Packo here, welcome back to Resonant Raz, secret stuff, can't say anymore. I am on the server at the minute with Poppy. I have spent far too long messing around on the moon. I've been manning this stuff, this raw meteoric iron, but when it gets dark you can't really find it, so when it gets dark I've been building. I built a little space-based thing over there. Now I wasn't planning on doing anything on the moon other than getting some iron and pissing off again, but I got all sidetracked. I was trying to build a little vanilla house. It turns out if I played vanilla no one would watch me because my vanilla building skills are really shit. It looked horrible. So in the end it's kind of changed into a factory block little thing over there. I'll head over there in a minute. It's going to grab this meteor stuff while I'm near it. A couple of bits over here, look at that, there's loads of it. So one of the good things about building through the night is, one, it's a ball lake, and I should have got a magnum torch much earlier. Poppy's just brought a magnum torch just before it got light again. So yeah, if you're going to do it, get a magnum torch, because you'll get sick of spiders and creepers blowing your shit up. It's really tedious. They're not a pain to kill her out, they're just a pain. So I ended up building this little space thing. Oh, I missed a block. Son of a bitch. I have missed one little block there. So this was a nice little vanilla house at first. Poppy's just in there putting an air bubble generator in. We've got a airlock, which is nice. Let me just quickly grab one factory block. Then I'll head back to my base. I'm going to get on with making a rocket to go to the moon. To go to Mars. One of them. And right, see me getting there. Pause the chat there, you'll see me getting all thingy about how primitive we all are. Right, so off I go then. Look at that picture of Pokefen on the flag. Anyway, so my address is creepy. Let's go from there. So Poppy just floated through the floor, looked quite funny anyway. We have got that issue on the server at the minute with floating through the floor. When you come through a gate, I will reappear up top in just a sec. There we go. So now I've loaded in. So right, this stuff, what do we need to do with this? Well, first of all, you need to smelt it and turn it into ingots. So we'll stick it in there. I've got that set for alloys, hang on. There we go. And once we've got it into ingots, we need to combine some of it with... In fact, we need to plate it all first. So, we've got 27 plates up to now. That's what we're just making there, the iron ingots. So they get compressed like the other stuff does. That much I had, 12. So if we head down, we can get that compressed. Now the two things you need to get to Mars that you have to have the moon for is, one is this stuff, and two is a combination of this stuff and I've got some more aluminium there because I've run out. A combination of this stuff and the heavy plate. So if we look at a tier 2 rocket, a couple of other things I want to get on with. I don't want to do all galactic craft in this episode. There's a couple of other things I want to do. I suppose I finished that room off. Now I've got some iron. I'll show you where we want to 3 octuple, 4 octuple. Cool. We're up to 4 octuple now. Nice. A couple of things I want to do. One of them is play with an item called a player interface from random blocks. Random things? Yeah, random things. What we can do with that is we can change this ender chest on the remote order system for a player interface, which means we can drop stuff straight into our inventory. It's crazy. And you can also, we can put a logistical sorter on there, so we can add things to the filter to take straight out of our inventory. So we can add like a wildcard ore filter. Any ores that go into my inventory will get sucked straight into the system and processed. So we'll get on with doing that in a bit, once we've done a little bit of galactic craft stuff. And I also want to do this extra cells block storage thing, so I want to make sure them two are done in this episode. Right then. So if we look at this thing, first of all we need these heavy duty plates. 2, 4, 6, 8. We need 10 of them. And for them, try again. So we've got 8. They're the tier 1 ones, which are like the ones we made yesterday for the other one. Heavy. So meteoric iron. You can combine them with the meteoric iron, and that gets you Oh, you have to do it in the compressor. Let's compress them, so we'll go back down and compress them in just a moment. We also need some of the normal stuff that we had before. And then we have these two extra new things. And these take some more meteoric iron and some yellow wool. Okay, so let's get a bit of yellow wool made. These should be pretty straightforward to make, to be honest. So there's a yellow wool. We want 2 of them oxygen vents. We want tin canisters. We might need a couple of them, so I'll make a couple. And then we should be able to make these now, I think. 1, 2. So there we go. So there's the main difference. That stuff there is going to be enough to make us our 10 bits for the middle. So now it's just stuff that we had from the first rocket. So that 4 of them. And one of these guys that has a little bit of fiddling about. So flint and steel, a button, a oxygen vent, and we might have just a bit we need. Let's have a look. Yeah, we do. I thought I had some of them maybe. So we've got everything we need once we've done that compressed bit. So let's head down and compress that really quick. So this is quite expensive when you add it up. No, tell you what, stand on the platform when you press the button. Hit. Down we go, and we can sling that into here. Now what I've been doing is I've been using. We've got one of them. Look at it as one. I've been using one air cylinder and then swapping it when I come back in here. Like so. Now, Al Jester, one of the people that watch my videos, is in the Mechanism IRC quite a lot. He said I'm going to run into trouble with these universal cables at some point. He's right. I'm going to have to upgrade these to the better ones at some point. These can put in, I think it's 200 RF a tick into any machine, but once we get to the advanced elite factories and stuff, we'll be pulling a lot more than 200 200 RF a tick. So these are going to need upgrading at some point. Nice feature of these is redstone signal disconnects the cables. Very cool. Right, we should have 2 more of them. We have. So now we can go back into our NASA workbench, go to our next page where we got the new schematic opened up, and we can go like this, put them in, and boosh, we've got Tier 2 rocket. So now we can put that onto a platform and we can go to Mars. Awesome. You may have noticed on the moon I got rid of the quantum craft portal and put a normal enhanced portal there. It's a bit easier, especially because we've got an enhanced portal network anyway. So we've still got the quantum one up here, but that's not connected to anything because the one doesn't exist. De-energize. There we go. So we will be able to go to other servers if we get something set up. Poppy's left me a villager who was a leftover from a demon summoning bit of work. Right, I've got that. What do I need to, oh shit, I wanted to go up there, didn't I need some enhanced portal stuff before I do anything else, I guess. I've got a bit of a plan for Mars. I'm going to show you in a minute. During the stream yesterday, I made quite a few stacks of reinforced slates, from Blood Magic. We're going to make a couple of rituals on Mars. I'm going to make. I've got a plan anyway. I'll show you it when I get up there. Portal. So we've got 26 portal frames. Probably not going to be enough. Let's make a few more of them. What was it in the middle? Oh, normal quartz block. There we go. I want a nice big portal on the space. Let's on the Mars. Let's go to enhanced and quickly knock together a controller and then a network interface, and then we need to upgrade that network interface to be a dialing device. There we go, and I'll need a couple of redstone interfaces as well. Let's might as well add down while I'm doing it. So I've got all the bits there I need to make a portal. Cool. So let's go. Let's go upstairs, fuel this bad boy up, and get my ass to Mars. So this kind of took weeks in the first time I did it in Space Monster, but I guess once you know what you're doing, come on, what I don't know what to do is get that off the pad without breaking the pad. There we go. So tier 2 rocket goes onto there. I've got yep, just changed that, didn't I? I can fill this guy up. Load fuel. Must have power in there. Let's have a look. Fuel is filling up. Cool. That's probably easily going to be enough. But there we go. I'll go to Mars. Now, you've seen this on the last episode. It takes a little bit of time, so I'm going to take off. And I'll come back when I'm about to land. Okay, big day up on my part. I forgot to open the roof. So I had to jump out the rocket, which means I've had to make a new launch pad. But now I'm on the way again. So there we go. Let's go to Mars. And I don't think you have to press. No, you don't. You don't have to press your space button to slow down with this. Is my night vision on? No. Instead, you get to bounce around a bit. Whee! Can I steer this at all? So it's night time. Wonderful. And we've got a nice big mountain there. And there's so many mobs. And they're all going to start attacking me. Awesome. Let's get into right mode. And let me just fly away for a second. Whee! So, Mars is similar to the Moon, but a couple of things. One, we can get Dash from Mars, which is very nice. There's a couple more schematics you can get from Mars, which is also cool. From the big creeper head boss, which is a nice, impressive looking boss. I quite like it the way it's mountainy. This is a nice mountain. I like it. It's a nice, nice size. But yeah, unfortunately, it's night time, so I've got all these dickheads to deal with. What we can do is we can. I'm going to have to make a portal to get back, so I can't really do anything until I make a portal, if I'm being honest. I should have got a magnum torch. Tell you what, we'll make a portal here. No. And then we can fly back. So, right, I don't know. First of all, let's make sure I'm not on the chunk edge, which I was. Awesome. So, quick dirty portal for now. Can always make it nicer later. I want the redstone in the bottom. Redstone, redstone. Oops. Don't want it there. Now, there's obviously different ways to do your redstone for your portal, but I just like it like that. Personal choice, I guess. It's so much easier flying, then you don't float about so much. Go away. Go away. Go away. Turn that on. If I get sick of these guys. If I get sick of it being night in space, no one can hear you scream. Portal controller and oh dear, I forgot to bring a link card. I might be stuck here till someone logs on. I don't actually know how to get back, you know. Let's go get my launch pad out my bubble. Portal frame. There we go, and I've got no link card. Massive error. That might save me. Are you going to save me? Wonderful. As if I had that in my inventory still. Cool, so that's a triple white and the chest what we put our shared stuff in, where the location cards are. Oh, as if. Wonderful. I thought I'd made a massive error then. So, portal controller, that'll link us, and then I can crash. Okay, turns out that the portal controller does not like my Omni wrench. It was crashing. Luckily, I had my Yitter wrench in my bag there, so I was being able to set the portal. So we've got an address of rocket because the moon is a single rocket. So now we can put in the address to spawn, and we've got a way home. Wonderful. I'm just going to put in spawn for now. Now, I say I've got a couple of plans for this. I want to mess around and collect see a galaxy from here. As you can see, days come, so it's daytime now. We can get rid of Spider Knob out here, and we can go and check what's in the bubble. We should have a launch pad and a rocket in here, so I want to grab them. There we go, launch pad, rocket, and you get some fuel in there, but well, we'll leave that. So what I want to do now is, the first thing I need to be able to, well, the first thing I want to get from here is I want some dash. Now, oh, dookie water, don't want to go in there. There's little spawn eggs and stuff here as well. Oh, I like that. That's just a nice, what a nice landscape. Getting carried away with the landscape. We're at 100. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to abuse this landscape a bit by making a little. I don't want to slam them yet. That's, they're quite cool though. These things, if you stay near in the spawn, a little slamling that'll follow you around. I will get one in a bit. Just don't want just yet. I'm going to. Oh, in fact, digital mana should do it wonderfully. Let's have a look. Let's see if digital mana is the way to go. So, config or dash maybe. No. So let's just go or and see what we get. Delete that one for now. Delete that one. And I don't know about that item filter. I never get any of them because it's a different size when they are grown to the one you can actually get as an item. Right. So put my power on and check my config. Max. Let's go to. We're about 100, aren't we? So there we go. And let's see what we get. Eject off, full on silicon, go. Nothing. Right, so it looks like dash does not come under the OR dictionary. Okay, so what I need to do then, I need to go find one first. So let's just dig down until we find one. It shouldn't take us too long. Tell you what, I'll come back when I found one. So I've had a little dig around down here and I'm not actually finding any dash, so what I've decided to do is I've chucked my Quarry Plus down. It's just manned my light, there we go. I chucked Quarry Plus down. I'm actually underground at the minute because it's dark up there and there's like a million spiders. And this will clear this out nice and quick under here. And hopefully find me a bit of dash. I'll keep an eye on the chest there. As you see, it's just getting cobblestone really. I found some copper, tin and iron, and it's not our dictionary, it's its own stuff, so digital mana possibly not the best thing for this. We should really have no trouble finding some dash. Let me come down here, see what the wall, if anything in the walls, but don't know. I hope it's not missing. I've not actually checked the config yet. Make sure the config's set right. As I have mentioned several times, this is like a test version of this pack, so there may be issues. I'd expect to have seen some. In fact, I'd expect to have seen anything by now. There doesn't seem to be a great deal in the walls at all, does there? Being so very dark doesn't really help. Okay, don't go back and man them, that's good. I thought I'd go back and man them. So we've got some tin there. That look like tin as well. That's iron, that's copper. Now dash is like a black colour on the ore block. And we're not being very lucky at all. So we're down at level 50 now. So the ores look like they started down on level 50-ish. Put a little light down. So I'll keep following this down until I get some dash. What I'm going to do is, once I've got a bit, I'm going to digital man a bit more up. I'm going to process it. First thing I'm making is 2 cryogenic chambers. I brought a chunk loader for underneath the portal as well. Cryogenic. A couple of these guys, so we'll be able to sleep on Mars and on the Moon and turn it into day, because it is a ball ache at night on there. More so on the Moon. There we go. We've got some. Cool. So there we go. That's what your dash looks like. So we've got a bit of dash. I should now be able to head up to the surface. I've run out of oxygen. You will see that although it's night time, it's a lot quicker going from day to night on Mars. So it was night a minute ago. Loads of mobs, and when it is night time, it's not as dark as it is on the moon. So it's not as much of a pain. It's a pain, but not as much. Right, I'm going to get some dash mined up. I'll get a couple of cryogenic chambers made, and I guess the next thing now is we can start working towards getting a space station. But I'm not going to do that this episode. I'm going to keep dicking around with this skeleton until I finally kill him. And I'm going to go back to my base, and we'll start working on that player inventory, and the upgrades to the blocks. Great. Let's quickly stop, reset, config, delete that. I don't want that, go away. Item stack, and now, oh, where'd it go? Huh. Well, where'd the dash go that I got? Don't see where it went. See if we've got any more on the walls, and see where it goes this time. So, your dash. So that didn't silk touch. Okay. I thought that was silk touched. Where did the fair stuff go anyway? Well, I'll get back to you in a minute. And there I am, back in my trusty base, and that first quarry didn't get me a great deal. I did another one next to it. I've tidied them up as well. I put the surface rock back across, and I've got 22 unrefined dash. So that's very nice. So now that needs refining, so I'm going to smelt that into dash ingots. There's bloody jippos all over my house. Swatters. There's squatters even all over my house. Like, look at it down here. It's like where all the light mages live. I bet there ain't any. Look, a little huddle over there talking about stuff. Talking about what was on telly last night. Michael Jackson over here. Get away, Michael Jackson. I'm too old for you. Right. Oops, I've gone too far. Let me down. Thank you. So, right, well, that's processing. Oh, where is it? There it is. 22 dash. We need beds then, don't we? So for the beds, we actually need 6, 12, I need 18. So most of this is going to go on beds. The only other things you really need it for is a terraformer and a launch controller. Launch controls for automated rockets. We're kind of cheating because we're using enhanced portals. But if you was doing it all legit, you'd rocket up and down every time. Yeah. I kind of want to be in space as much more for the building as much as else, but we kind of have cheated a bit, really, I suppose. I'm going to go compress loads of that. So, in fact, is it 1 for 1? It is 1 for 1, so that's good. And I'll get some of them beds made. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this extra cell storage block thing. Now, I got into a bit of an issue the other day. When I was quarrying, I ran out of room. This overflowed, and I had no room for anything. So I had to deal with it. What I did was, I made an MED condenser, and I've been chucking loads of stuff into that. As you can see there, we've got what's called a singularity. We can use that for making a quantum bridge, which means you can have your ME network split across 2 places, which is very cool. And we're quite a long way to making a second one. Now, this is pretty cool. What I've got here is I put a storage bus on, and all the things that we had too much of, I was putting in there. Like this cobblestone from Mars, I don't want that, so I'm just going to bin it. And the way I've been binning big bits of it, like in there, I've got 5,645. Well, what I've done is, in this storage bus, I've formatted it just for that. And what I can do is, I can put that in here. I'm telling it to transfer from my ME network into that. So it's going to pull all that cobble out of there. There we go. So now there is no Mars cobble in there anymore. It's all gone. Very cool. And we can put that in this top slot here. It's going to transfer that and it's going to add it to this. So it's going to empty that for me again. So that gets rid of it all. I can just go back in there as well. We'll store that in there. What we can do with this is, the way I've set this up is, I can take that off there now because I'm about to do that. Oh, you son of a bitch. Didn't want to do that, did I? So what I've got here is an ME drive. I suppose I can talk my way through it. And in it I've got loads of different materials. I've got dirt, cobble, stone, gravel, marble, limestone, ink sacs, and nether wart. And each one of these 1K storage cells can store 8,128 of that material. Now, this is all set to the default priority of 1. This chest is also set to default priority of 1. What I've got in this storage bus, we've set the default priority. We've set the priority to 2, which is lower than the default. So 1's higher, 2's lower. So the things will try and go into here first. So for anything that's pre-formatted, it'll go into here. Now you'd think that next it'll go into here, but because that actually has the item specified, so stone will first go into there because it's a higher priority. Then that becomes a higher priority, but because it's specified in here and it's not specified in here, so by specified I mean this storage drive has not had anything partitioned onto it, has not had stone partitioned onto it, so stone's not specified to go into there. It means it'll go in there first. So anything over 8,128 goes into there. But then I was watching Snoresby's episode a couple of days back, and I saw this really cool thing. Now I don't know if I can do this with a full one, but let's try. If I make some chests, let's have 10 chests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. And I don't want to put them in there for. What I can do is if I combine a chest with one of these, now will it destroy the dirt that's in there? Let's do it with smooth stone, because that's what we've got most of. Then if it does destroy it, then it doesn't matter, because we can always get more. Dirt is useful for some stuff, so I kind of want to save the dirt, just in case. So if I combine that with a chest, it becomes this thing. It's a block container. It says it's empty. Yeah, and it is empty. So be aware, if you do it like that, you will destroy what's in it. So I've now got 0 stone. That was maybe not the smartest thing to do. Let me go grab a little bit of stone out of here. Now, what we've done there is, let's have a couple of stacks of that. That'll just regen anyway. We're getting, because when we quarry, we get silk touch stone anyway. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to partition this, and I'm going to say the only thing that can go in there is stone. So I've formatted it. Now what we've done is these 1K storage cells, they could store 63 item types, but we're only storing 1 item type in them anyway. So if we come back with a chest, it becomes a 65K cell, but it can only have 1 item type in it. So we lose the ability to store the other 62 different item types, which we wasn't using anyway. And we now have the ability to stick a full 64K's worth of stuff into that. So that can now go into there. And then any smooth stone I've got should go into there. And it hasn't. So it looks like that smooth stone got deleted. Interesting. You're definitely partitioned for that. Now let's call it stone. Not that it should make a difference. I don't even say it on there anyway. Block. This might not work as I want it to because of the way I've got my other things set. So let me, for the minute, let me just, I guess, how can I disconnect that without breaking everything? I'll have to just disconnect it there. Let me get some more smooth stone. So there may be an issue here. I'll let Mega Freak know that I've found a couple of issues. The guy who makes extra cells. So now if I put some stuff in here, now it's going in there. Okay, so now if I put that back, maybe I needed to prime it with 1 item first. So we've got 520 bytes used. Right, so there we go. So now it's going in there. So now any smooth stone will go into there until it fills up. And that's going to hold a massive amount of smooth stone because it's a 65k cell. 64k cell. So 64k cells are enormous. So the way I'm going to have to do this then is I'm going to have to put that back, that dirt one. I'm going to have to take a piece of dirt out first. And then use these spares I've got here. So I will first of all combine that with that, and then I'll partition it for date, format, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in here until it's pull all the data out of the system into it. There we go, and now that should be empty, and it is. I can put that in there, I'll swap it around. So that's the way I should have done the first time. So now they'll all fill up, I'll have a massive amount of them resources, and any more will get binned. Right, so I'm going to do the rest of that off camera, I'll sort all that out, I'll get these compressed, we'll be able to make some beds, and the next bit is going to be making that player interface. And I'm back, and the video is about 32 minutes. Now, I'm going to make some of these guys, so I've got the stuff ready there, the heavy duty plates, the compressed dish. I'm going to have 3 of these, one for the Mars, one for the Moon, and one for the eventual space station I'm going to make in the next episode or 2. So I'll go put them up, in fact I'll go quickly show you. We'll put one on the Moon. La la la. And I'll put the other on Mars later on. I'll build a little building around the place on Mars just so we don't get attacked. But this really does help because when it's night time, it's just so dark and not fun that it's nice to be able to make it daytime again. The problem with this is these are freaking huge, so I'm going to have to go right down here, I think, by a good couple of blocks. Let's go right down there. Is that going to work? These things are enormous. Will you go right down there? So, yeah, there we go. So I'm going to have to make it a little bit prettier, of course. I'll make it a bit prettier off camera. Ooh, I'm not getting in the way of Poppy's auction bubble distributor that he's working on. Now, Poppy's been working on making it so there's air in here. Oh, cool. It's got an underground windmill. Poppy's been working on this. It actually needs quite a lot of oxygen to power a bubble distributor. So, it might need quite a bit more mechanism power. This is using mechanism rather than going fully Galacticraft with it. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how many separators and stuff he needs to provide the oxygen for an oxygen bubble generator. But that's got oxygen, it's got no power. Interesting. Cool. So there we go. I might have to change the way this place is built a bit. In fact, I'll leave that there for now. I'll just show you it. So you're getting it like a normal bed, but you need to have this to be able to sleep on the Mars, or on the Moon, on the Mars. So out you come and see, look how much brighter it is. I'll build a little annex next door for this, and I'll put one on Mars. Right, one last thing to mention about Galacticraft before I carry on and do the random thing stuff. When I did this in Space Monster, I used sync, and it became a little bit of a chore having to have separate sets of armour and stuff. I think this time I've gone the other way, and I've made it too easy by just putting portals there. I think some element of flying backwards and forwards is probably making it more enjoyable. So if you're watching me do this, thinking, well, he's just blasted Galacticraft in a day, I have. If you want to enjoy it, I'd suggest not making a portal to it and really expand it and really playing the flying up and flying down. There's so many ways of portaling around these days. We've got the enhanced portals, there's Mistcraft, there's Witchery. You can do gates. I don't know if they're cross-dimensional, but I guess there will be. There's Ars Magica's got the gate things. We've got Qcraft, and that's just if you sync, of course. And then there's the actual flying up and down. So there's loads of ways of getting around places these days. You have to decide for yourself what you want to do to make it interesting. Next time I play Galacticraft, I am probably not going to do any kind of teleporting. I am probably doing it all rocket. Cause I actually don't even know how to fly a rocket back. I know there's some fuel in the lander. I know you get your rocket in your launch pad. I've never actually taken anything to get the fuel out the lander, so if I was doing it legit, would I have been stuck on the Moon the first time I did it, I guess? And then if you die in the moon, you respawn there. So would I have been stuck forever? Because I didn't take anywhere getting the fuel out of the lander and back into the rocket. I don't know. Anyway, it's something to consider, innit? So if I was you, I'd have a little think before you skip a lot of the content by teleporting. Anyway, right, let's crack on then. At random things, I have got a plan for some more things out of this as well. I've just been having a little play with it while I was having my dinner in single player. I'm going to use online detector, and I'm going to use entity detector and a spawner to play a little joke on someone. I think that they won't mind. It's not nothing's going to get, no one's going to get hurt. But I've got a plan. That's going to be. I'm going to do that. I'm going to record that after this, but I'm not actually going to show that until the person has found it themselves. That's all I'm going to say on that. Right. What do we need? We need one of these guys. Player core. So let's start with that. Player core. Nice and straightforward. Vanilla materials there. And now we want. Oops. We want to make this guy player interface. So we need an ender chest, which needs an ender eye. Let's get that. Did I put one in there? Yeah, it did. And then we need that into an ender chest. So throw that in there as well. And got some nether stars left. How many nether stars have I got left actually? Let's have a look. Oops. I am down to last one. Okay, I've got one nether star left. Good to know. There we go, we've got a player interface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this. And I'm going to put that onto there. Now, it's got my name on it, which is interesting. Connected to me, okay. Lock mode. Interesting. Place blocks. What's that mean, place blocks? I guess I want this on lock mode. Only I can break the block. Only I can place blocks. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So now, if we get our remote orderer out of here, we should be able to, if I want a stack of iron, request, set it successful. Now it should actually be in the inventory, and it's not. Where's it gone? It's gone nowhere. What have I done? I've cocked something up. Oh. Interesting. Okay, clearly I'm missing something. Let's leave it in every mode and try that again. So let's do it with something cheaper in case it does destroy it. Let's do it with a stack of dirt. Stack of dirt. Successful. Where are you? Where are you, stack of dirt? Does it need range upgrades? Well, I guess I need to check out how this works. Look, it's front on the floor. Okay. Player interface. Player interface. I thought it connected straight with my inventory. Unless it's not going in so that it's just spitting out on the floor. I've got it facing the wrong way. Interesting. Can I wrench this around at all? Oops, I can crash the server. Back in a sec. Okay, it didn't crash the server, it just kicked me off. Right then, so I've actually learned a little bit more about this. It turns out that if you look at this thing, it's got a weapon shown on the bottom. On the top, when we look at it, it's got a armor. And the difference is, the weapon is your hotbar slots, the armor is your armor slots, and then your inventory slots are the four sides. So the way we had it going in the bottom. What we actually want is it going the side, like so. So I've moved this around because I'm going to work out how to get the logistical sort on it in a minute if I can. So now, if we go, you see I've actually already got 64 data in there, so we'll get rid of that. If I now request 64 data, you'll see it come into my inventory. How cool is that? Awesome, eh? Now, the next thing I want to try and do, and I've had a little go at this, but it wasn't quite working over here. But it did work over here. And what I've done is I've made a logistical sorter from Mechanism. So let's grab that guy, put that on the right way. Logistical sorter is just iron ingots, a piston, and your basic control circuit from Mechanism. which is very straightforward indeed. And what we can do with this, it's like the digital mana. You can put an OR dictionary filter in. So I've got an OR dictionary filter in there for asterisk or asterisk, which means any OR that goes into my inventory is going to get pulled into there. So if we grab some OR, I wonder where that went. I did have some copper. Has it pinched it? Has it gone missing? We'll see. 1860. Oh, it pinched it anyway. Oh, there it is. So now you can see if I put any OR, look at that copper, 1862. If I actually put it in my hotbar there, because we're not going to the hotbar slot, it'll stay there. If I put it into my inventory, boop, and you may have seen that do its little click thing there as it moved it across. So that's working nice there. I'll just put the floor behind it. What I need to do now is to feed it into there. Now I think I tried this with an item duct, and I think that might have been the issue. I'm going to put this guy back down. I'm going to fasten this guy on with his OR filter. And he's got nowhere to go yet, so I'm actually going to make the mechanism pipe. I say I tried it with an item duct, and it didn't seem to work. But let's have a look at the mechanism item pipes, which I don't remember the names of. It's... where are you? Digital transporter, there we go. One of you please. Let's request 8 of them, but one of them first, and then we'll have some of that logistical transport stuff. There we go. And now if I connect that to there, will it pinch this copper ingot, this copper ore out of my inventory? It will. How cool's that? So now when I'm out and about mining, $18.62, you see, I'll just bring it straight back in. Sweet. So any kind of junk I want to put into that, so I can do stuff like spider eyes, string, zombie skulls, all stuff like that. It'll just get pulled straight out of my inventory and into my ME network. How awesome is that? I am well impressed. Cool. So there we go. That's going to be it for this episode. Thank you as always for watching. I hope it was entertaining. I hope it was fun. I hope I didn't anger you with my mistakes too much, because I know that does wind people up. And I hope I see you next time. Cheers. Bye. Do, 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 do.